welcome to my YouTube channel. It's girl Indz. For those that are here for the first time, I just want to say welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you stay and you subscribe so that you can become a part of the I.V Squad. That's a new name that I'm giving you guys. I'm not sure if you guys are accepting it. Is it cool? I for Indie, V for Vanda, I.V Squad. So yeah, that's that. And to my returning subscribers, I just want to say thank you so much for the loyalty, because over here we appreciate loyalty. Before I get into this video, I just want to say thank you so much for the love and support. And I have been getting a lot of, not a lot, a few DMs as to the fact that my voice is quite low. I hope you guys are going to be able to hear this. I'm in the process of trying to get a mic though, so that I can be able to produce quality content. I hope you guys can hear me. I hope you guys can hear me clearly. But yeah, without any further ado, let's get right straight into the video. As you guys can see from the title of this video, I am going to be doing a book review. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing a book review. Now that I'm thinking about it, I actually used to hate doing book reviews back in high school. I think I'd much rather prefer a obituary than a book review. Also, it didn't make sense to me that they force us to do book reviews without reading the whole entire book and finishing it. That didn't make sense to me at all. It still doesn't. That's that. I usually read on my spare time, and whenever I'm trying to avoid schoolwork, it does give me a lot of pleasure to actually read, and it's quite calming and very distressing, and so that's why I read. I do read self-help books, anything that has to do with mostly growth, development, and mostly just being aware and mental health in general. Books that I read, and actually anything that has to do with psychology and money. And money is also an important factor that I do want to read about, so that I can make money. So yeah, so those are the kind of books that I read. I used to read back in high school, but the only reason why I was reading back in high school was just for clout. I don't even want to lie to you. We weren't in each other's business that much, so we'd read. I remember there was this app that we used to use, which was Wattpad, to read a book, and then so that you can have a conversation with someone, because that's like a conversation starter, I guess. Also, did you read about Jake Blake and Don't? Those were the names that they always used to have. It was some kind of love story, which I still dream about, because it doesn't happen in reality. So yeah, those are the types of books that I used to read back in high school, and then converse about them. It didn't really do much in high school. We were very much sheltered. I'd love to think that we were very much sheltered, and we didn't know a lot. So we just read books so that we can converse with one another. And if you weren't reading, you were not part of the cool kids, and you were going to be so lost and confused. And it's so hard if you're like in a group of people and you don't know what they're talking about. It's very bad. I know I'm drifting away from this whole entire thing, so let's get right into this video. So the first book that I have is actually Man's Search for Meaning. This is how it looks like. I think I got this book for like 100 Rand at most, and I bought it at Take A Lot. I think I got this book last year, and the author of this book is Viktor Franklin, a psychologist. He was the one that actually came up with logotherapy, and logotherapy is finding meaning to life so that you can be able to live life. So finding purpose and meaning. It actually talks about a lot of suffering, like what he went through when he was in the Holocaust and World War II and the concentration camp and all of that. He talks a lot about that, but at the end of it, I think one thing that captured me is the fact that he was saying that they can take everything away from you, but your response, your attitude to life, suffering and all of that is all on you. So when I thought about, like when I read that part, I just realized the fact that we actually have a choice. Like we're given free will and free spirit so that we can choose whatever we want to do. So whatever trials and tribulations come your way, whatever struggles that you have, at the end of the day, you're the one that can choose how you're going to respond to it. Like even if there's bad that's coming your way, you can still choose a different response. After reading this book, I realized that it doesn't really makes sense that you continue blaming the world for what's happening, that life is so unfair and all of that, but rather taking responsibility as to, okay, life is unfair, that's how it is, there's nothing I can do about that, but my attitudes to something that I can control. Like, there's so many things that are happening around us that we don't know of, but as long as you can control your attitude and control who you are. Yeah, basically that's that. It's like a hope after suffering and all of the wrongdoings. I actually definitely enjoyed this book, and I think it came at a very right time because I think last year I was questioning a lot about life. It gave me the fact that whatever happens, even though I suffer, though I go through trials and tribulations and difficulties, at the end of the day I'm the one that can choose as to how I'm going to respond to it. I have a choice as to how my life continues, even though I am stuck with these problems that I have. So Viktor Frankl was the one that wrote this book. Very incredible book, I don't even want to lie. The second book that I got is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Yes, yeah, that's the book. This book is a financial literacy book last year, and I was sharing this book with my cousin, and that's the reason why I have this tag that's here. But I definitely did enjoy this book. One thing that I love the most is the fact that even though there are a lot of accounting terms that are here, they're quite explained in depth so that you can definitely understand as to what they are trying to say. I think after reading this book, I definitely understood more of financial terms. I think the one thing that I realized is the fact that we are placed in a system where we go into school so that we can be employed at the end of the day. Not for us to be entrepreneurs and start our own businesses and all of that. And this is quite an eye-opening book so that you can be able to look more on that and understand more about the other world, other than just, okay, I go to school, after high school I go to university, after university I need to find a job and be enslaved in that kind of system, rather than, no, after school I start my own business so that I can be able to make my own money and generate my own money, and how to actually keep that. I know there's a second book that comes after this one, and I'm definitely keen on reading that. So yeah, this book is amazing. I don't even want to lie to you guys. The next book that I got is The Alchemist by Pen Coelho. But this book is definitely one that encourages people to actually go out their way and follow their dreams and not abandon their dreams. Because we have this thing that, what if it doesn't work out? But what if it does? What if it actually does work out? What if you have a dream that you have works out at the end of the day? So just realize the fact that you can still continue going after your dreams, chasing after your passion, but that does not necessarily mean that you won't find struggle and problems along the way. You definitely will. There will be a lot of struggles for you to get to where you want to be, but do not lose the dream. Do not lose the dream. Continue to follow and chase after your dreams. It's quite a inspirational one, I don't even want to lie. So yeah, that's that. So the next book that I got is A Return to Love by Marianne Williamson. That's the name of the book that I got. I think I bought this book on this year, just before my birthday in July. I bought this book because I was questioning so many things about love, as to, have I really experienced genuine love? Was it love? Was it just me trying to be accepted? All of those things. And I do want to say that I have not finished this book as yet, because after my birthday in July, a lot changed in my life, and in terms of me having to read it has been like very, very slow. I don't want to lie. What caught me, it was the first 2 chapters of it, because I've read the 2 first chapters and I haven't read the rest of it. But it was saying that a miracle is a change of perspective, right? And I would have thought that a miracle is something that's quite materialistic, something that's very, very big. Like, in this world, we genuinely just think that miracles are like these big things that people want to see with the eye. But this book generally just say that miracle is a change of perspective. When you think about it, it definitely could be that. And one thing that I thought of when I was reading this book is the fact that I remember how I was telling my mom that she needs to start doing side business rather than just doing her normal 9 to 5 job work, because now this point in time one income stream is not enough. So that's what I've been telling her, and she was telling me over the fact that no, like businesses have problems on the side, people get enemies, and all of these different things that usually happen when you start up your own business, that you're going to be stepping in people's territory. And it's something that she's been constantly fearful of, and something that she did not want to do. And then this one day she just generally decides to order up a stock and then start up this business on the side. When I saw that, I realized that that is a change of perspective. That is a miracle. And you don't necessarily need to see like big things happening in your life for it to be a miracle. Like miracles are in the smallest things, but we miss them because we're waiting upon these big things that we're waiting to happen. Like only 2 chapters of this book, and already I am just captured by it. And once I'm done writing my exams, I'm definitely going into this book and reading it and making sure I'm finishing it before this year ends, because that's one thing that I want to do for sure. Like, but I just genuinely realized the fact that miracles definitely not in the bigger things, and sometimes we need to look for miracles in the smallest things. And if someone changes their mind, that means that that is a miracle, that they weren't thinking that way and something had to come in and show them a different side, and that for me is a miracle. And I think that's where you realize the greatness of life, that it's not necessarily in the biggest thing, but it is in the smallest thing. But other than that, another thing that I thought of when I was reading the title of this book, I genuinely just thought that this title of this book is about love. That maybe once I read this book, I'm going to understand as to what love is, because I was very much challenged and questioned as to what love is. I think whenever you are reading any kind of book, you need to be open-minded and actually be willing to be changed by it, or be questioned by what your own views are. So yeah, another thing that caught me in this book is the fact that we're born of love, but then the world instills fear within us, and all in life is to actually go about trying to find the love that we were born with. Your baby, you don't know anything about fear. Like, obviously someone has to say specific words, and then that brings about fear to the person. So our journey upon this earth is to actually go around and making sure that we find love, we experience love, to go back to our natural self, to a truer self, which is love, because we're made of love, we're from love, because our Father is love. That's this book. And as I was reading this book, I just felt like maybe to close this off, to sum this up, the best book that I think that is important in all of these other books, that before you even start reading those other books, which are your self-help books and books that will assist you in one part of your life, is that you need to start reading this book, the book of life, which is the Bible. Yes, miracles, you can read them from the other books. You can read about finances from the other books. You can read about discipline and trying to make money. But this book is the genuine book that you need to start reading before reading any other book. And I think as I was questioning my view and philosophy of love, I started to think about God's love at the end of the day. And also the fact that I realized that the love that we give out to people is actually generally just love that has been passed on from generation to generation. The love that I'm giving is the love that I've received from my parents, and that they've received from their parents. And it's quite sad that some people were given less, and now the only thing that they're giving is much more lesser. But in all essence, in terms of love, the love that we give out is the love that we receive from our parents. And if our parents didn't get enough love, that means that we are not passing, and then that means that we are falling short and giving the shortest love that we've received. And that in essence impacts our relationship with the people around us as to how we engage with them, because obviously our background determines as to how we act. So that has captured me in this book is the fact that there's love, that you cannot give out love if you have not received love from the founder of love, from the person that has made love, from the person that is love, and that's God himself. So it is not possible for you to be able to give out love, to experience love, to notice and recognize if it is love, if you have not experienced love yourself. And I think it's quite important to have a personal relationship with God, so that you can be able to experience all of this, so that you can give out love, that you don't give out love that you got from people. I have asked on my WhatsApp poll as to what people experience, what it feels like, what it is, and people were giving me so many different perspectives, and I realized that maybe we don't all know what it really is, but the person that will give us that so that we may be able to know what is love is God. And if you experience that, and then you're able to give out love from an abundant form, because his love is abundant, his love is never changing, always and forever be consistent. And once you understand that love, then you're able to give out love, you're able to share love, you're able to do things in love rather than doing them because you're obligated to, and all of that. So yeah, basically that's that. I don't know how this turned out to be. Yeah, I hope you guys do actually start reading some few books. I really genuinely promise you, I'm not lying, it does help, it does assist you so that you can be able to de-stress a little. And this book, you don't necessarily need to finish it in one day. I think it's the book of life is a journey that you take up on, and each and every day you choose. So yeah, that's that on that. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.